Thomas Jefferson might be the most important person of the American Revolution. He was the author of the Declaration of Independence. He was the first diplomat abroad. He is the first Secretary of State, the second Vice President, and the third U.S. President.
Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13, 1743, on his father's prosperous Virginia plantation.
He had an outstanding education. He started at the College of William and Mary in the state of Virginia, and then later studied law under George Wythe.
Jefferson practiced law in Virginia from 1767 to 1775. During this time, he met and married Martha Skelton, a 23-year-old widow. The couple had 6 children.
He also had a 3.5 decades long relationship with his wife's half-sister, Sally Hemings, who was also his slave. He had several children with her, and the only slaves Jefferson freed upon his death were the children he had with Sally Hemings.
In 1774, he drafted an extraordinarily important document, the Summary Rights of British America, that justified the right of Americans to be self-governing.
As a delegate to the Second Continental Congress, Jefferson was selected to write the first draft of the Declaration of Independence, which he finished in June 1776.
John Adams chose Jefferson to write the Declaration of Independence because he was such a fan of Jefferson's literary style. And Jefferson, who was only 33 years old at the time, managed to write it in 17 days.
The United States was the first country to declare its independence from a colonizing power in the modern age. And this document became a model for declarations of independence all over the world for 2 centuries.
During the Revolutionary War, Jefferson returned to Virginia, where he was elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses and served 2 terms as governor.
While serving in the state legislature, Jefferson wrote the Statute of Virginia for Religious Freedom. This became the basis for the drafting of the First Amendment.
Thomas Jefferson then succeeded Benjamin Franklin as minister to France before becoming President George Washington's Secretary of State in 1789.
Thomas Jefferson had a bit of a bumpy ride as Secretary of State and ultimately resigned in 1793 because he had major political and ideological conflicts with the Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton.
In 1800, Thomas Jefferson was elected 3rd President of the United States after the House of Representatives broke an electoral tie with Aaron Burr.
The election of 1800 was such a contested election that could have ended in civil war, but it did not. It was resolved through democratic means, and the American experiment survived.
This was the first peaceful transfer of power between opposing parties in Western history.
During his presidency, he cut the nation's debt in half, protected U.S. interests abroad by sending the U.S. Navy to deal with the Barbary pirates, and doubled the size of the United States with the Louisiana Purchase from France in 1803.
They commissioned Meriwether Lewis and William Clark to go and explore that territory. And the expedition of Lewis and Clark remains one of the great exploring sagas of all of American history.
After Jefferson's second term, after he left office, he became very involved in founding the University of Virginia, the first secular university in the United States. He designed the campus, and he became its first rector or provost.
Jefferson died on July 4, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and the same day John Adams died.
Jefferson wanted to be remembered for 3 things. He ordered them carved on his tombstone: author of the Declaration of Independence, and of the Statute of Virginia for Religious Freedom, and father of the University of Virginia.